Geo Bachelor Podcast, a show about everything but nothing at the same time. Two guys that took jobs away from their families and living the Geo Bachelor lifestyle.
This is episode 2 of the Geo Bachelor Podcast. This is brought to you by... Oh, yep, that's right. We have no sponsor yet. Apparently my name's Landon. I have to reintroduce myself on every episode, thanks to Dwayne, but...
Well, yeah, we could have new listeners.
Well, they can listen to the episode 1. I mean, it's gold, let me tell you.
It is gold, but we need to let them know again that that's Landon. I'm Dwayne. Welcome to episode 2. We've got a great show for you tonight. He wants to get off the podcast pretty quick because Dancing with the Stars comes on. And
Hey, I just want to clarify really quick. All right, Dancing with the Stars, but it is one of the radio shows that I listen to. It's a host on there that's on there, so...
yeah, he's referring to Bobby Bones. We both listen to that show, and that's one of the podcasts that I listen to daily almost, just when I'm traveling back and forth. It's 2.5 hours coming and going, so makes that drive a little bit better.
Yeah, but I mean, it so far is, a pretty good show and stuff like that, but I probably won't normally watch Dancing with Stars. It's not something normally that I do.
Just on Mondays and Tuesdays.
For like a couple weeks, I think, and then it's over. But anyways, back to the important stuff here. So we had an event this weekend. We got to spend some more time together.
Yeah, and our spouses were able to come, so they got to make fun of us just much more than they usually do.
Oh, yeah. They definitely, the wife didn't really take too kindly to the whole I'll go eat out all the time, so.
Well, she's a little tighter with the funds than you are.
Well, I mean, she does have an accounting background, but, I just like to spend money. I make money, I spend money.
Yeah, this weekend was pretty good. It was a Saturday night event. We got to get dressed up. The wives were all fancy and got their hair did and wearing fancy dresses. And you were looking sharp. I don't know what you did different, but you were looking pretty sharp this weekend.
Well, I will have to say when I tried it on, I felt like, I was a bride right before the wedding that realizes maybe she put on a little too many pounds before she put on this dress because it was a little tight.
Well, can you clarify what you put on?
All right, I want to make very clarification because my wife, she was like, "Oh, well, he tried on Spanx." This is not exactly how it all went down. I just want to put that out.
So let me get this right. You tried on Spanx.
No, I did not try on Spanx. I want to point that out. Not at all. Maybe the thought came to my idea, or like in my mind, but I did not because I don't have no Manx or whatever they call the man Spanx.
But you considered it.
Well, it was really tight. I mean, like, let's just say my bulking season has definitely increased a lot over, the last 6 months or so.
But you're always in bulking season every time I talk to you.
I'm pretty sure there was a few times that, I definitely cut down a little bit,
Well, so since you had to think about wearing Spanx and you're normally in a bulking phase, what are you doing now?
Well, I tried up a new bodybuilding program because, I like the bodybuilding side. You don't have to lift weights as fast as you do in CrossFit, so less cardio. Well, I mean more steady state cardio, but not as intense as CrossFit and stuff like that.
But with this workout, you also are increasing to 3,000 calories a day?
Oh, yeah. I haven't hit that number yet. I mean, I was probably like 2,500 calories.
So is that why when I walked into your camper, you had half a pancake sticking out of your mouth?
This is also not true. He is a liar and a fraud, let me tell you guys. I did not have half a pancake. I've choked down all those pancakes before he ever came over here.
I'm pretty sure he had a little pancake coming out of the corner of his mouth when I got here.
I'm pretty sure that's not how it went. But anyways, I actually weighed myself. I started Monday. I weighed myself in, seeing what I was at. And I was like, well, let me just weigh myself in on Tuesday. And I gained 1.5 pounds. So I think the 3,000 calories is working.
Yeah. I mean, that could be water weight, but...
Oh, no. I think that was a lot of just chicken and all kinds of other stuff as much as I could eat. But anyways, back on, I don't have to keep a physique, such as yourself, because I mean, I don't go on vacation about 3 times a week or something like that you do.
Well, you have to stay with this physique because you never know. You always have to be beach ready.
You know, I was looking at your Instagram posts, and it's like, oh, I'm in California. Oh, this guy goes on vacation to go run a marathon. Who does that? I mean, that's not vacation at all.
Well, the running part may not have been, but the rest of the event was.
I mean, you probably sat there up in Minnesota drinking your IPAs. Isn't that where you went? Somewhere up there, Canada?
Duluth. It was Duluth, Minnesota. And why you got to bring up old stuff? That was like 2016.
No, okay. But, you go through your Instagram, it's either one of your garden or one of your vacation.
What else is there?
Well, there's living in a camper now.
And I have some of that. Or do we go look at yours when you was trying to get all the free weight protein and pre-workouts and, hey, follow me. Look at this great stuff. I use it every day.
I realize that was annoying. I do use it every day. All right. And guess what? I got free supplements from it. It's a good way to, push out free advertising for them.
Well, so back to the camper then, and since we're on your pre-workout and your protein and your necessities, do you think that's the cause of the gnat problem right now? I'm literally swatting gnats as we do this podcast.
Okay, I don't know. You have to vouch for me. I am probably one of the more cleaner people that you've ever met.
Yeah, you walk into this place as spotless, but
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like, my next door neighbor, i.e. my mom's tomato plants or something like that, but it is definitely getting out of control. I'll kill them all one week and then they show up again the next week.
I mean, I'm thinking about getting a fly net to put over my head so they stop flying in my eyeballs. Hold on, let me just put on my sunglasses.
You're ridiculous right now. It's not that bad, all right? He's sitting there used to like the easy life because he goes on vacation all the time. God forbid that he has to go camping every once in a while. But
anyway, enough about the gnats because they're driving me crazy.
Well, I just want to point out that we did put out our first podcast. A little bit quieter probably than what we expected,
Well, yeah, and since we're new to this, it took us an additional probably 30 minutes tonight just to get it set up after realizing that we recorded on one mic the whole time, the first podcast. Yeah. My mic wasn't even on.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I think hopefully the audio is better today. I don't know. I might be louder. I mean, I'm usually the showrunner here anyway, so clearly I need to be louder than you.
Well, you like a lot of attention.
I do.
But speaking of a lot of attention, so in the first podcast you said if we didn't have 20 listeners, you were done. That's the end of it. No more. Do you know what the final outcome was?
I don't know exactly. We put it on a few different platforms, but like SoundCloud, Stitcher, of course, that's something new that I didn't really know about. But I mean, it looks like we have a really big following in Chicago, Missouri. What am I talking about? I'm a professional podcaster here, but just on what is it, SoundCloud alone? I mean, we're looking at 48. I mean, only 8 likes, so clearly not too many people like it. But
with one of the events that I had to go to yesterday for work, being the Geo Bachelor that I am, I was walking around a bunch of our other colleagues, and they were coming up, shaking my hand. Hey, I'm a subscriber, so I just want to give Bob a shout out because he said he was our first subscriber.
Oh, Bob. I'll tell you, I don't know. I mean, I feel like most of our followers are definitely our family members. I mean, to be honest.
Well, but after you said we need at least 20, I was like texting everyone, hey, here's the podcast, or we won't be doing another one.
It's like you don't have to listen to it. You just have to download it and make me think that you listen to it.
Well, I've already got some requests for guests to be on the podcast.
Oh yeah, I have a few guest requests too.
Well, Well, we'll have to look on that. That may be having to hook up another microphone, and it took us 30 minutes just to get two.
Yeah. And right now, my guest list consists of my two daughters, which I really don't know if I want to put them on here or not.
Yeah, the other guest was my daughter.
Oh, well, you know,
We won't be able to talk. They'll be all over us.
I feel like our wives might have mentioned something about being on the podcast, which seems like a horrible idea to me.
Well, that's where the truth comes out for you. I mean, you like to talk a big game until the wife's around, and then she squashes your game really quick.
I don't think she squashed my game. I mean, everybody knows that I'm in charge around the house. I pretty much do whatever I want. So it's really like moving down to the camper. Really, nothing changed. I mean, I'm still in charge of my own household. So,
Your household of one down here.
well, somebody's got to be in charge, you know.
Yeah. Well, speaking of in charge, so since you've been doing this, have you used any other techniques or different techniques for working with the kids or homework or discipline or anything like that?
Well, my kids' respect for me is pretty consistent. I.e., they listen to their mother, not so much me. So, I mean, it's having girls. It's definitely an interesting adventure every day. But for the most part, yeah, they just do their own thing, and took pretty much Mondays, or at least the last few Mondays. I haven't been here, so I've been having to do all kinds of, running the kids around and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure that's the whole point of me geo-batching, is I don't have to run the kids around.
So actual father duties.
Well, yeah, I mean, is it father duties or is it babysitting? I mean, there's two different versions. I mean,
Well, I FaceTime with mine just to get some face time, and I've tried to over the past. I've helped my daughter with math, my son with math. Um, Aaron will be like, "Hey, I need you to talk to the kids about something." So here I am, been gone all the time, and the last thing I want to do is be the bad guy and say, "Hey, you need to do this or you need to do that." It's in my nature anyway to tell them what they're supposed to be doing or not supposed to be doing. But I try to keep that at a minimum so that, when I am getting my 5 minutes of time with them, I'm not the jerk all the time saying, "Hey, have you read your book? Have you did your homework? Have you scooped the dog poop out of the backyard?"
yeah, we don't scoop dog poop. I mean, that dog just poops wherever the heck it wants. But I mean, for the most part, I mean, Michelle, my wife, has that on lock. She pretty much does the majority of it. Every once in a while, I have to stand in, but she's really great about that. So, everyone, like math and stuff like that, I'll help a little bit, but not really too much.
Well, it's difficult to sit there over the phone saying, "Show me the problem again, and let's work through this." But and we've done it. It's worked out. But the other day, so I'm actually home. It's on a weekend, and my son's hanging out with his cousins, and they're running around, and he's been hanging out a lot with his uncle.
Oh,
And they come walking around the corner, and I'm in the backyard doing something. I don't know what it was, but they're giggling and talking, and I'm like, "What are you boys doing? What's going on?" And my youngest, he's 8, comes up and asks me if I know what a prison wallet is.
well, that's great. Let me guess. That's probably Uncle Dozer that probably did that.
It is the one and only, the infamous one. I asked, "Well, where did you learn that term?" He's like, "Well, Uncle P." I'm like, "Huh." And what do you think it is? So he hikes up one leg and says, "When you put something in your butthole." So I'm trying to keep a straight face.
The way I look at it, Uncle Dozer, as I call him, I mean, he's just prepping your son for any sort of situation that might arise,
Oh, I'm sure that if we ask, and they refer to him as UP, that's the initials for their uncle is UP. You know, he will, if I ask him, hey, why are you talking about prison wallets? He will have some story, I'm sure. Well, you never know when you're going to need one.
Yeah. I figured he would be like, well, you see what had happened was, and then try to, divert him actually telling your son about the prison wallet. But
Well, I mean, he's tried to tell the truth with you once, and you kind of blew it off. You want to go into that?
huh? What do you mean, Uncle Dozer?
Yeah,
So
the old
here's
golf
how.
tournament.
So we were playing, golf. First off, I want to start about how he got the name Dozer because he likes to think I'm Dozer because he said something about me moving more earth than ball, which is not true. All right, every once in a while I might get a little bit of the ground, but anyways, that's besides the point. So to like preface this story, I just went up to like City Museum up in St. Louis, and I was sliding down slides or something like that, and I was wearing the same shorts that I was wearing that day, and we were golfing, and he goes, "Hey man, you got a hole in your shorts," and I was like, "Yeah, I know." Because I don't buy. I mean, I pretty much wear the same clothes like from 5 years ago, so I wear them until they go out. And I was like, yeah, I know. And then I think we go a couple more holes or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Now, when he says it's a hole, it's the whole half of his
well, I was
butt
getting
cheeks hanging out.
all right. I was wearing other clothes underneath the under clothes, not Spanx. I just want to point out I've never wore Spanx in my entire life. I've done a lot of weird stuff but I don't wear Spanx or kilts. All right. I'm a manly man.
Well, so continue with the story there, Mr. Spanks.
So we are not, this is not going to be my name. But anyways, so I hit the golf ball and then all of a sudden a gush of wind comes and it's like, it's not from underneath the shorts. It's like straight, like, and I'm like, why didn't you tell me I had a hole in my pocket? He's like, I tried to tell you that 2 holes ago. I mean, this thing was like from like the belt loop all the way down. It was a bad deal. Thank goodness I had some other clothes, that I had to go changing.
Butt cheek would have been hanging out. But I was hoping that he would just keep going because we had plans to go out to eat later downtown and just let him walk around like that.
Hey, look, I'm not completely incompetent. Sometimes I can adult with the best of them. So, but these, like I said, these kind of things happen to me. That I think I was a little skinnier then, so I can't really say fat guy. Maybe I might have been in my.
No, you were in your bulking season.
Look, the best compliment anybody. So if you're on a diet, the best compliment, especially like I receive at work and stuff like that, they're like, "Oh man, you on meth?" Let me tell you, if somebody says that you're on meth, that means your diet's working. That's a good way to look at it. So I mean, that's the biggest compliment I've ever had. But anyways, let's move on to how our day goes and stuff like that. And so I'm not as lazy as Dwayne is. I want to point out. Well, as in getting up in the morning, I can drive 2.5 hours to work, and he'll be like 10 minutes away from work, and I'll still beat him to work. So I get up about 4:30, depending on how motivated I am that day. And then what do you get up about 9:30, 10 o'clock or something?
5. I get up at 5.
What time did you get up the other day? I'm pretty sure it was like 6:30 or something like that, right?
No. And how would you know if 6:30? If you're up at 4:30 and gone, you wouldn't know what time my truck was gone.
I'm pretty sure. How would you know about the Spanx story then, huh?
Well, we had this conversation with your wife. She's the one that talked about the Spanx.
Look, all right. You can't believe a word that my wife says. The word Spanx did come in, but I'm a joking guy, so she knew it was a joke, I think. Well, I don't know.
Anyway, go. So down at the camper, how does it differ from normally at home, or is it pretty much the same?
Definitely have to change up. I'm a routine person by nature. Not always, but here in the last couple of years, I definitely like to stick to my routine. So when I come home on the weekends, it just messes it up for the most part. But I mean, I like to get up at 4:30 usually, get to the gym by 5 at the latest, and work out for hour and a half, and then I have about an hour commute to work after that. So I mean, for right now, that's going to work. Once we switch our schedules a little bit and kick it up to a 10-hour day, that's probably going to change. But for the most part, I mean, it works for me.
Well, this last couple weeks has been a little bit different to me. I've got extra people coming to my office that I've signed on to help. They're all struggling with, being in shape at different things. Some the strength side more, some are on the running side. So I've got 5 additional people that are around, and so I'm getting up earlier. And I'm not a workout in the morning type of person. I hate.
I prefer
like
working out in the morning is to me is like the best. It just starts your day and stuff. And then if you miss a workout, I mean, you just feel miserable. So,
well, I prefer to work out at the end of the day. That way, when the stress of the day, it just melts off. So,
well, I work out twice a day. Then again, I'm fatter than you, so I don't really know if it's working or not. Clearly, it's not.
Well, what'd you do? 30 minutes of cardio today?
Well, I did 35 in the morning because today was backwards. Usually I lift in the mornings, but since I was driving from homes, I didn't go to work Monday. I did my longer cardio session in the morning, which is 35 minutes, and then I'll lift for like an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, depending on how long, in the evening or, well, technically in the morning. And then I'll do about 20 minutes of cardio as the new programming.
Well, my normal workouts is I'll go and I'll get a run in. It differs. Some days longer than the other, some days faster than the other. And then I'll go in and I'll do a CrossFit style workout a lot of the day, sometimes 2, just to get some extra work in. Depends on how stressful that day is.
Well, sometimes they are. Always different things popping up at work that kind of change some things, but and there's days, I mean, work till sometimes 7-8 o'clock depending on what the job is, and what all pops up. But for the most part, when I'm down here, it hasn't been too bad. I'll get in my workout or whatnot. Every once in a while, I'll skip. I usually don't ever skip a day, but I'll usually skip a session or something like that.
Just depends on how hard you hit it the night before.
Well, I don't know. I love working out. I like eating clearly, but I mean, I definitely enjoy working out. And if I don't work out, I'm like a big baby at work. So, I mean, it's pretty bad. So
I'm the opposite. So if I don't get to work out in the evening after work, when I would go home, my wife would be able to tell whether I worked out or not. I would just be a bear.
Yeah, well, my wife can tell if I don't work out or something like that. I've kind of taken off a little bit more. I'm not as strict as I was, because I was in my bulking phase, which pretty much consisted of eating whatever food I wanted whenever I wanted.
So it was what? Stop at McDonald's on the way in, stop at Taco Bell on the way out.
I'm definitely a Taco Bell fan. McDonald's, only breakfast for the most part. I am not a big afternoon, but then breakfast burritos, sometimes, I don't know what they are. Like, what are they? 10 calories per burrito. So I eat 4 of them. So that's about 40 calories, I think.
That sounds about right.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'll tell you what I hate now. The calories are listed everywhere. And you want to talk about making yourself feel bad? I'm pretty sure that those burritos are like 300 calories a piece or something like that.
Oh, I know. After that event Saturday, on Sunday, we was going to a Cardinals game. So we grabbed some food on the way, and we're sitting there looking at Panera Bread and getting a coffee and getting a breakfast sandwich, and she orders, and she's looking at the calorie count, and then I'm telling her which one I'm getting. She's like, that's almost 500 calories. I'm like, I'm in my bulking phase.
Yeah. Well, my breakfast after our little event was, I like to, especially after long evenings, stuff like that, I like to go to the mom and pop shops. It wasn't really so much a mom and pop shop, but over there by the lake, right before you hit the dam, I went to this little place there and had a regular, like an omelet and stuff like that. So it was pretty good. Got to put the cheese on the hash browns, you know what I mean? But I'm a cheese person. I do love my cheese, but
well, I can say, when I'm at home, it's homework, it's talking to the kids, it's cooking dinner with the wife, it's cleaning up, help with laundry. It's pretty much a team effort at the house. But when I'm down here, it's completely different. I just have to take care of myself, clean up after dinner, clean up the camper. I started a deal where I had a goal of reading a book every month. I can't read when I'm at home. I don't take the time. There's just too much going on. I feel like I'm neglecting them if I'm reading. But down here, I've got my books in, and it's just completely different. I feel bad saying that. I definitely have more time for myself down here, and then my poor wife is trying to hold down the fort at the house. She's a trooper. That's all I gotta say.
Well, I mean, I would read at night, but it's dark out, so I really can't see the book. So I choose not to read so much. But I'm more of an audiobook person now.
So what's the last audiobook you listened to?
I'm trying to think. Actually, it was the Bobby Bones book. I'm kind of in the middle of one right now that you recommended.
Which
but
one was
I
that?
haven't. The Frank son, I think, is Dean Koontz.
Dean Koontz. Yeah, I'm on the 4th book of the 5-book series.
But yeah, definitely the last full audiobook was I think it's called Feel Until You Don't. It's I don't know if it's self-help book or not.
Self-help book. That's what he categorizes it as.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really I don't need too much help because I am who I am. So, ain't really much. I'm just a big fan of the guy, so.
Yeah, I listened to that too, but that's something we'll talk about. I think another podcast. We'll have a list of books that I've read, and what's in the future.
Yeah. But for the most part, I mean, I really just cook. Hang out with you if you decide to show up or not.
Let me say, I can't just run to the camper and then run right down here. You're on my butt as soon as I leave the office. When are you getting down here? Am I cooking dinner for just myself?
No. All right.
That's
this
what
guy.
It's like. That's
right,
what it's like every time.
Every time he's like, oh, we make plans and stuff, and I make my little Chipotle bowls. I had to cook the whole dang thing because you're sitting there on a phone with a meeting and stuff.
And what did I tell you about your Chipotle bowls?
They were amazing.
They were amazing.
Disclaimer, though, they are not true Chipotle bowls. Just some kind of knockoff recipe, but...
Well, I say the lime, cilantro rice is the bomb.
It would be better if you put some cheese on it, though. I mean, I don't know if you're trying to starve yourself, but cheese is what makes it. And
then I totally failed on the guac. I didn't have time to make it fresh, so I picked some pre-made stuff, and it was horrible.
It was like they just put the avocado and mixed it up
without any seasoning.
Oh, it was horrible. It was like, I don't know what. He's like, yeah, I make homemade guacamole. Actually, the first batch, I think you picked up guac. It wasn't as bad, but that second batch that we made, I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is nothing but straight avocado.
Which wasn't bad, but just lacked a lot of flavor.
Say you're eating it with chips. I mean, you're just, yeah.
Well, next time I'll make it from scratch. Just can't do it on a Tuesday.
I can't be doing, Chipotle bowls anymore. All right, I'm on a diet. I gotta be eating clean foods or pancakes, as I was eating before.
Clean foods. So keep out the cheese.
Yeah, no cheese. I'm not eating cheese. I got a fridge full of cheese.
And you just brought in rice.
Yeah.
So it's the same. We can still have that. It's chicken.
Well, and then there's some other stuff.
I tell you what, we'll make you a bowl out of pancakes. Will that make it happier?
Hey, I'm trying these new Kodiak cakes. They're pretty good. I mean, I've had them back in the day, but, I mean, for the most part, they're good. But anyways, we're getting pretty close to closing up. We're like trying to keep these 30-minute podcasts. So that way you guys don't have to listen to us ramble on and on. But, I mean, hopefully you guys are finding it somewhat entertaining. But we plan on putting them out, try to record them around every Tuesday and see if we can't get them out within the next couple of days or so. That first one, I mean, it took a little bit longer to get out, but...
And let's be honest, it took us 30 minutes to get the microphones hooked up. It's probably going to take a little bit.
I feel like it took longer. I think it took 45 minutes to hook up microphones for a 30-minute podcast.
And then, we have to have a good network to get it uploaded. But we'll get it uploaded. Please please share. Please leave comments on iTunes. What was the other website that you said you could get this on?
It's on Stitcher, and then it's on SoundCloud as well, because SoundCloud's where you base it from, and then you attach that feed to podcasts and stuff.
But leave us comments, what you liked, what you didn't like, what you'd like to hear more of. It would really help us. That way we're putting out, some good content. Some of it is just us telling stories about the dumb things that we did or didn't do.
The dumb things I did. It
Especially
seems
the
like
dumb
it's
things
really
you did.
focused on me. I think you do dumb things as well, but
I just don't get caught, or I don't talk about
you
it.
know what? All right, we're done with this. All right. Well, I'll see you guys later. My name's Landon. I'm signing off. Dwayne, you want?
Have a good one. We'll see you next week.
All right.